Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our 5 mistakes. I'm Kathleen. This is Adana. And we're going to today go over the 5 mistakes that indie authors make when launching a book. I have compiled this list over the last 17 years because I found they're pretty consistent. Somewhere inside all of this, everybody will find something they did, including myself. So if you have questions or anything, please put them in the chat and we'll be checking them. But for right now, I'm going to get started. I'm going to do the first part, and then Adana is going to be talking with you in the second half as we go into a little bit more in depth. So let's begin. I'm going to share my screen. Go here. Go here. Okay. As I said, this is something that I've put together over time, so I know that they work. But there's one thing that every single person that usually rushes out and does something wrong, and oops, why can't I see the top of this? Because this stupid thing is up here. I hate Zoom sometimes, but it's impatience. Impatience is probably the biggest problem. They want to hold the printed book in their hand. They put it up, they send it to Amazon, not realizing that the instant Amazon gets it, it publishes it. So they've done nothing. Family and friends, something is happening, someone's dying, you want to get them the book. Not switching from the creative mode to the business mode, which you need to start. And I think many of you have had my timeline for it. You can start slowly progressing to getting that business hat on more and going around. Another big thing is you just don't care about your genres. You just throw something up there. And you're excited about seeing it on Amazon. We all are, but you want to see it done correctly. A lack of industry curiosity. You don't really know how publishing is done. Do you guys realize that Tuesday is the day all the big books come out from the big 5? Same day of the week, every time? Were you aware of that? That's why I don't have any of the books I'm working on come out on Tuesdays. No interest or understanding of book marketing or the publishing costs, especially when they're doing it themselves. Here's the thing to remember. 2.6 million ISBNs were assigned in 2023. In 2011, when I first started compiling these mistakes, it was 247,000. Okay, that's over 10 times growth. So you're up against a lot, but as Amazon has reported, 99% of the people who are on Amazon have books up there, do nothing to market them. So you've lost 99% of the market is not your competition. So let's go and start getting into what the big mistakes are. And first biggest mistake, I think, really is understanding the division of time for a book. All this time you've spent writing is really only 35% of the time that you're going to need to put in to marketing and selling the book. 10% goes into editing, because that's a back and forth thing that can take up to 6 months or more. The production of the book, and then the marketing. The 50% of your time is going to be on marketing because you want to sell the book. You want people to get it in their hands. And it doesn't mean not like the big 5 who after 3 months, they drop you if you haven't sold 10,000 copies. You have forever to keep marketing this book. You don't have a three-month window. You can keep going. And if you're writing nonfiction, this can go on and on and on. So a division of time is one of the mistakes a lot of people don't understand. Rushed, little or no editing. I can't tell you how important editing is. If you want to get really good reviews, and B, if you want people to keep reading your book, You do know that anybody who downloads an ebook from Amazon, because Amazon pays you ebooks by page count that people read, the majority of the books don't get more than 20 pages read. Okay, so, and a lot of that has to do with the editing and commas. If you have commas in the wrong spot, you can completely change the meaning of a sentence. But you've been writing this book for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you can't see some of the little things that a really good editor can do. And like I said, the editor is not your neighbor, best friend, or an old English teacher, okay? At best, they're very poor proofreaders. Besides that, they don't use the Chicago Manual of Style. Okay, that's the grammar style guide for book publishing. If you're doing magazine articles, it's the AP style guide. Very different styles. English does not have an official grammar. It's whatever you want it to be. And each industry put together its own grammars. So you need to be using one, and you need to be working with someone who understands that. Okay, not understanding when the content or developmental editing is done, hit. It's before you have it copy edited. Those are the first steps. And sometimes you can do this with beta readers if you don't have a big budget. Beta readers, if you send out your manuscript to 5 or 6 people who will give you honest critique, not your best friend going, oh my God, this is so good. Don't. Get it to, maybe have a reading critique group, or, I've seen people putting things online asking for beta readers, and they'll give you their honest opinion back on what's working, what doesn't, places where the book falls flat, things where it's really working well. And that's a lot of what content and developmental do, except they help you rewrite it and show you professionally how to do it. And then you go to copy editing and proofreading. And the fear that someone will change your words. Have you ever heard the phrase, kill your darlings? Okay, that's people hanging on to the really wonderful little, very clever thing they came up with, which probably makes absolutely no sense in the story, but you thought it was really clever. You can't be afraid of having your words changed, especially if you don't use a lot of dynamic verbs and they start trying to give you a little bit better use. I mean, dynamic verbs are what move the story forward. And a lot of people, if you just, here's a test. If you have your manuscript, put in, up in fine, put the word was. See how many times you use that. That is like a dead word, okay? It's a dead word. Use a dynamic verb, use another word. 90% of the time can be replaced with something better, that better describes exactly what's happening there. That's the beauty of a writer who can, every word counts. It's like what Hemingway did. I mean, he made every single word count, okay? And that's using the best verbs, okay? Then we go on. They're traditionally published bestsellers never go to press without editing, except one. Most of them go through 4 phases: developmental, content, copy editing, and proofreading. The except one is a story that I've heard years ago. The last book that J.K. Rowling in the Harry Potter series delivered to Bloomsbury, she knew it needed editing, but they always had done the editing. Well, she was a little late. They were under such constraints, they just threw the book out there without it editing. That's when because her contract ended with them, she never went back to them. She started her own publishing. But they threw that book out there. If you ever read it, it's been re-edited now. You couldn't get a new copy of it. But if you have one of the originals that came out, look at the editing. It'll blow your mind. So lousy editing means your book's going to get tossed. And it's going to mean you'll get fewer reviews, or you'll get bad reviews. And that's the last thing you want, because reviews are very important. And not only reader reviews, but editorial reviews. All right. Rushed release date. This is where you haven't put all the work together. It's like maybe you've gotten it back from the editor. Well, while it was being editing, you have a whole lot of things you should be doing and setting things up. Rush production, so there's sloppiness in how the pages are laid out. You don't have any professional critiques. You don't have any editorial reviews. Blurbs, professional critiques could be like blurbs. You need those kind of things for your back cover. You need those to be on your Amazon page and your, up on Barnes and Noble and stuff like that, so people know more about it. Haphazard author and terrible descriptions. You're missing keywords. You're doing everything wrong when you put it up. This can be solved. This is an easy thing. We're going to be talking about it later. But you do not have to do this, but a lot of people do. And with the changes of the Amazon A10 algorithm, it's all been thrown up in the air and completely changed. So if you're doing something like you did 3 years ago, it's not correct. No research on your keywords. That's so important. No buzz on social media to build pre-orders. Now, pre-orders, I don't know if all of you know this, you can only do pre-orders at this time that I'm aware of through Ingram. If you put it on Amazon, they put it on sale automatically. But if you put it up on Ingram, Amazon will put it up for pre-order. Yeah, I do not know why. Amazon should allow pre-orders too, but they just pick it up from there because a lot of people have Ingram print the book and Amazon sell it, not having Amazon print everything. Nobody but friends and family know it exists, and they're probably tired of hearing about it. And so that's just like, just get it out, do it. You don't want to do that. Don't let it be pressured. And that's the impatience. So this is really important that you don't rush the release date. Don't make it that it has to be on your birthday, but you haven't quite gotten the cover art finalized and you're waiting on some reviews and stuff. Don't do it. Get the date that's best for the book, not for something else. Rushed production. Bad fonts. Drives me crazy when I see all these books, especially nonfiction, that are in sans serif. They're hard to read. They're, maybe some of them are condensed fonts, so they're just not it. Font, especially with reading, is something that goes back to the first time as a small child in school they gave you a book, or maybe your parents had one. Okay, those were kind of kiddie books, but when you got to school and you got a real book, they were all in serif fonts, and that means they have little cues, and they, this here is sans serif because we're projecting it. But it's for the mind. You've been trained since you first were taught to read serif fonts. So you have higher reader retention, reader comprehension, and the story stays with you. You can read it faster because your eye has been trained to flow with serif fonts. So that's the way it is. If you want to have people have a hard time reading your book, I've tried going through some that are in like sans serif fonts, like this one right here. I can get about 10, 12 pages in, and I've lost interest because when you're trying to comprehend it, unless you want to just sit and go word by word, they're hard. It's just because your brain wasn't trained that way. Incorrect margins. I've seen them where they have the same outside margin as interior margin. No, the interior margin's a little bit larger because the book, when it opens up, you lose a bit of it. But they make them the same. Copyright page incomplete. Oh my God, so many times I see this. Very bad disclaimers, all kinds of page things here. No ISBN numbers, no name of who designed the cover, lots of stuff missing. Not register with the Library of Congress. If that's not on the copyright page, then libraries can't pick you up because that's how they go by the Library of Congress numbers. Missing ISBNs, it's like there's one for the hardcover, one for the trade paperback or paperback, one for the ebook, all of the formats, and one for audiobook. That's what you need now. So you need 4. Incorrect or poorly written disclaimers. If you happen to be writing something that's nonfiction, even with fiction, but people claim you've written about them, you better have a down hard disclaimer. And what I found the best thing to do is to go to like a Barnes and Noble, go to your genre, find some of the books from major houses, and take a picture of their disclaimers on the copyright page. Okay, you can put this together. You just need those people, those all went through legal, so instead of hiring an attorney, pick up with theirs, find what's the best one, put it together of what you want. It's not like you have to go pay an attorney to do this because it's out there. Okay, and cover design. It's the first thing people see, and often it's an afterthought for self-publishing people. They want a cheap or free cover. You know what? It looks like it. And I forget what the number is. I think it's 57% of people, if they don't like the cover, they never pick up the book. They don't read what your description is. They don't see your wonder for reviews because they don't like the cover. It doesn't appeal. One big problem people have there is that you don't do cover design for your genre. And the easiest way to do that is take your cover, print it out to size, like say it's 6x9, then have it printed at a print shop, not off your inkjet because the colors and fonts won't be right. Take it and then put it on a piece of cardboard, go to his bookstore and pull out the best sellers right now in your genre and put your cover up there. You'll probably see the difference because there's a style to every genre. And here's an example. This is someone I worked with, and he was insisting on this cover over here with the spaceman and the caveman. And I just said, I'm not going to work on this book if that's the cover, because that's horrible. And he had a designer. Whoever he paid was not a designer. But anyway, we worked on it and we came up with this one. This was, I think 10 years ago, 9 years ago. This book is still selling. He goes out and talks. He's a speaker now. This is his book, but look at the difference in the cover. And he thought this was fabulous. So know the difference. Covers are so important, and they're getting more important because people are looking at them as a little 2x3 thumbnail. Okay, and when you're looking at a 2x3 thumbnail, that thing has to pop out. It has to resonate with someone, or they're just going to click past you. They're just going to, left swipe or whatever it is. Okay, let's go on here. No advanced reviews. That's ARCs. If you see people say advanced review copy. Real reviews matter. They do have an expense, but they do matter. And these are the 3 best for independent books. This is a long-standing, very well thought of for independent publishing. Kirkus, of course, is the industry standard. Book Life is what Publishers Weekly created a couple of years ago. They're really good because if you get an editor's pick in your Book Life, it will run in Publishers Weekly. So it's worth it right there. If you're in a city that has a major book review publication, you should probably get it included in there. Or if, say, your book was, you're maybe in California, but you use New York City as a location, well, use one of the local book review things. Get a review there. Many publications and blogs have indie writers through reviews, and they do. It's the indie writer stigma is really fading because so many are finding really good books there. You need advanced reviews for your media kit sales sheets. You need to put the under editorial reviews on Amazon. On Ingram, it's really important because that's where bookstores and libraries find you. And if you have really good reviews, they sell there. So that's what they're important for. You need them to get a book signing, and you need them to get interviewed. And that's all part of your marketing. No advanced marketing, social media presence. I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of this, but this is so important. A good question. How many bestsellers in your genre have you read in the last 3 years? Do you really know what's selling in the genre you're in? Because readers buy trends. And things have changed. What you thought was really great maybe 5 years ago when you started writing this, they may have trended past it. You need to keep reading the bestsellers in your genre. Do you know what your genre or subgenres are? Because you need all of that for being listed on Amazon and Ingram. Do you know who your audience is? This is probably the biggest mistake a lot of people make. They don't know who their audience is. It's not everybody. I've had so many people tell me that. It's not everybody. There's a focus. Is it a romance? Is it a Regency romance? Is it historical fiction? Well, what type of historical fiction? English, British Islands, UK historical fiction, Chinese, French? What type of historical fiction is it? Because that's your audience. Because people read genres because they're comfortable there. It's like, is it a cozy mystery? That's a special audience because inside cozy mysteries, you have the ones with dogs, the ones with cats, the ones that are detectives, all kinds of things. So you've got to know who your audience is. And that you get by reading what's going on and getting out and looking at what's happening in other places. Finding your market. If you build it, they will come. That is like one of the biggest lies ever told. Just because you put the book up, nobody knows it's there. That wonderful Field of Dreams line is just, no, that doesn't work. Are you reading books and talking about them on Goodreads? Okay, are they in your genre? Put stuff up on Goodreads. Website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all for your writing. You have those sites, you need them. Websites are still the anchor of everything you do because they're the place where everything about you is found. People aren't going to scroll through your Instagram to learn about you. They'll go to your website because everything's in one place. I really recommend starting a year out and do a little at a time so it doesn't overwhelm you. And blogging builds your SEO in your audience, and you have to have SEO on your website. I still like blogging for doing that. And you're the star, not your book, because people are celebrity crazed. They want to know about you. So who are you? What are you going to tell the world about you? It's rarely about your lead character unless somehow you're the lead character in your book, like you're doing a memoir or something. And contests. Once the book is out, it's a great way to get validation. There's nothing like saying you're an award-winning author. And all of this, some of these bigger parts in here, we're going to be talking about later because they are so important. Unrealistic budgeting. That's why I say when you start writing the book, you need to start putting some money away. If it's only $50 a month, to start saving money to do the things to do it right. Editing can take 3 to 6 months, depending on what's going on. Content and developmental editing can be $1,500 up for a 300-page book. Proofreading, $750 to $1,500 or so. These reviews are each about $500, though you can get discounts on them. Kirkus is always running $50 off on Instagram and Facebook. I recommend City Book Review because they have the San Francisco Book Review. They have them for different cities, and they do a really good job of reviewing books. You can just submit your book and hope they take it, or you can buy a review from them. And I think it's like $179. It's around $200, I think. May have gotten more expensive, but they write really good reviews. They don't pull any punches. And by the way, because you buy these reviews does not mean they give you good reviews. Okay? And Book Life grades you on your editing and your cover design and your marketing and all types of things. So that all is included. You need an author website. If you've got a visually talented or a little bit of graphic design, you can build your own, or you can hire one to have someone done an author website. Because nowadays with scrolling sites, you need basically a one-page site or so, depending on what all you're doing with it. And social media, basically this just costs you your time. And your time has a value. So remember it. You may want to hire someone. I personally recommend doing your own, because they really want to know you. And if people start asking questions or commenting, you need to be commenting back. You don't want some other stranger doing it. This goes on with the budgeting. Contests, love contests. On the Writers and Publishers Network website, we update the list all the time for the best contests. There was a time about 12, 13 years ago when there was a flood of bogus contests being done. The Paris Book Awards, just ridiculous stuff. And they were, people were falling for it, but they were all really a con. Book production, putting the cover design, layout, creating the ebook format, uploading it to the top retailers, somewhere between 1,500 and 5,000, depending on the cover designer usually. And included in this is the price of, they will upload it and set up all of your accounts. Do not use a hybrid publisher if you can just find a really good book production person, because they don't take a percentage of your book. They will set it all up. The money goes directly into your bank account. And I really think that's the best way it should be. And there's really only, 3 ways to really distribute the book: Amazon, Ingram for the bookstores and libraries, and then going with draft to digital for all the other ebooks. Now, actually, we don't really have more ebook formats. Amazon finally gave up on .mobi, and so everything is EPUB. But that's it. If you want to hire a publicist, they'll create all the materials, media kits, get all of that together. And that seems to be, it depends, 2,200 to 5,000 a month. And they usually want a 3 to 6 month commitment. And advertising, Amazon ads and Facebook ads and ebook promotions. You can spend as little as $100 or you can go a lot higher. On ebook promotions, when we're doing it for a client, we usually do this at around $400. Amazon, we usually do about $25 a week. And I think Facebook is the same thing. So you can spread it out. And when you've hit your max for the week, they don't run any more ads. So in summary, rushed or no professional editing, rushed release date with poor production, and that production can really kill you. No advanced reviews, no advanced market building or social media present, and an unrealistic budget. And do remember, budget your time, because that is so important, because you still have to be involved. Unless you want to hire somebody to go do it all, you've got to be involved. And I still think you should always be involved in your social media. So what we're doing is, and I think you saw this in the emails we sent you, as book marketers, Adana and I have come up with, Adana created it actually, it's brilliant of her. We started doing this for our clients to make it easier to do things. Trying to find the right keywords and going for all of the categories, this was days and days of work. And Adana came up with something that changes that. So let's look at the next slide. And I'm going to turn this over to Adana right now. Adana, why don't you pick up? I'll get out of here.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. As Kathleen said, we kind of created this thing in ChatGPT to streamline our workflow, which is what we were trying to do to, better position our own clients and make sure that, what we were doing from a marketing standpoint was getting them the best possible outcomes that we could get them. I'll kind of show you what the workflow looks like. I thought Kathleen was going to do that part, so I wasn't prepared.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay. So I made this little chart to show, I actually made this chart to have on our table at the LA Times Festival of Books, so people that were walking by could kind of see, everything that our little GPT called Launchmaster does. And it has this great kind of flow for everything that you could need for marketing. It starts out with a book summary that summarizes your entire manuscript. You upload your manuscript, it reads your manuscript, and then it gives you a one-page summary that originally the point of that was for if you wanted to, if you were going to do a book proposal, you could take that one-page summary and, start from there and kind of grow your book proposal out of it. I find it's really useful to make sure that ChatGPT reads your book the way that you want it to be read. It gives you an opportunity to kind of go, oh, like, I'd rather have this character emphasized, or I'd rather make this point, or I forgot to tell you I'm an award-winning author. That should go in there. And then from there, it goes into your back cover description and your Amazon page description, which is really, really important because Amazon, especially with this new upgrade from A9 to A10, Amazon really requires that you make sure that your Amazon description reads like a real person. It has, some emotional depth behind it, but it also is weaving your keywords into that first 140, 150 characters, and then throughout your description, because that's how the Amazon algorithm bots find you and help elevate your story. And you also need to be connecting with your readership and not just keyword stuffing like it used to be. So Launchmaster helps find the best categories and the best keywords so you can make sure that your book is positioned within your genre and your market. So when people are searching for it in Amazon, they'll find it. It also does that for Ingram Spark. So also very important because Ingram uses a little bit of a different system, which Amazon doesn't use anymore, but kind of still does. Amazon's whole system is confusing, but Ingram uses BISAC codes, and BISAC codes are how like libraries and other bookstores and all of that find your book when they're trying to order. So it categorizes it through a BISAC code, and and this helps you find that. So it tells you what your categories and keywords are for Ingram with the BISAC code. From your best categories and keywords, it also does your comp titles, and comp titles are really important just for you to understand like what other books in your genre are doing, or other books that yours are similar to, how they're doing, how they're positioned. Then you can go look them up and you can see what their descriptions look like, what their categories are. Like, it just helps you market your book better. You can also look them up on their websites, on their social media, and make sure that what you're doing in those areas too also match. So that's all market positioning. And then it also does some social media posts for you initially. It's a launch social media post like, hey, I'm writing this book and it's going to come out. And it gives you a swipe file for your hashtags that you can start building. So it's easy for you. You can just copy and paste those when you're doing posts. And then from there, it also will write your press release and write you a really dynamic media kit or one sheet. It's a one-page sales mechanism that you send out when you're looking for book signings or wanting to get on podcasts or radio shows, or all kinds of places. You send out your one sheet so people get really quick information on what your book is about. And then from there, you launch your book, and hopefully all of the marketing material really helps you in what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go into a demo. We're going to go into a demo, and then, we have a few other slides, but from here, just go. Can you still see my screen, Kathleen?
I just see you.
You don't see my screen?
No. There we go.
Still?
Now I see the screen. It says, what's on the agenda today?
Okay. Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so when you first come into ChatGPT, this is what your screen looks like. It has your every time it will come in here and it says, it asks you a question. It has your previous chats over on the left-hand side. You can see all of my stuff here. And then these are the GPTs that I have pinned here because I use them the most. I'm going to pick ours, Launchmaster, so I can show you what it looks like. This is what Launchmaster looks like when you first come in here. Every single time, this is what it looks like. It has 4 questions. So, if you're want to start from the beginning, or if you just need your Amazon KDP, or if you just want to do your press release, like you can kind of start wherever you need to. And then this little plus symbol right here will pop up and you can add your files from any of these places. I've already done that, so we don't have to watch me search through my computer. I've uploaded a manuscript. It was a book that Kathleen and I worked on for years. And I picked her book today because when I was finding the manuscript, I also found her media kit that we did off of the designs that I made for ProBookLaunch. So I just thought it would be really great to run through this and then show you how the media kit fits into those designs. Okay, so you attach it. It takes a minute usually to upload, and then you just hit this arrow right here in the right side of your box. And it's reading the manuscript right now. This new ChatGPT 5 upgrade is really great because it has an auto mode where if it needs to think longer, it lets you know that so you don't think it's stalled out. Usually it doesn't take this long, but okay. So then it always gives you a little pep talk, and then it will go into your one-page summary. This book is a memoir. Last month when we did our webinar, we did a novel. So I thought I would also pick a memoir so we could see a nonfiction, demo. That was kind of my thinking as well. Okay, so I'm not going to ask it to do anything different. I just want to show you the pieces and parts. You can see this, it spits out a nice one-page summary. I think it behooves you to read through this and just make sure that the story every time is kind of being told from the points that you think are important. But I also think that it's important to be open-minded in this moment, because one of the things that we as authors, like we get very immersed in our story and we're thinking like, oh, this is it, this is it, this is it. But this is marketing material. And I designed this system to make sure that it's going to pull out the best parts to actually position you for marketing. So just read through it and make sure that it says what you want, but also be open to maybe different points of view that you never would have thought of because you're so immersed in your story that, you might not be able to see a different direction, and this can open that up. Okay, then the next one is it asks you every time if you want to do a back cover description. You can say yes or skip to any point in this sequence that we're going to go through. If you don't have a back cover, this is great. If you do have a back cover, but you're not sure, you can always just have it kind of generate it and see what it says and see if you want to switch it out. I know we've had some feedback from people who have purchased Launchmaster that were like, wow, I really thought I had it, and then this did it, and I changed all of my stuff because it's so much better. So, just things to think about when you're going through this process. I'm going to tell it yes, and it's going to do the back cover. It gives you a nice hook line. The back cover's short and sweet. It leaves place on the back cover. So if you wanted to do your picture and bio, or if you have advanced reviews and you wanted to pull out blurbs, you can put blurbs there too. So it would have your cover description and enough room for other things. The next one is the Amazon description, and I'm just going to tell it yes, and it's going to go for it. It always gives you these 3 variations of a hook line. That's that first grabbing sentence that we really need to grab people's attention, because you only get one shot. So if your cover isn't enticing, and that first little part of your book description that shows on your Amazon page isn't grabbing, people are just going to move on, because like, we have a short attention span in this digital world. So it gives you 3 hooks. You can use one of them, and then the other ones you can use for other things if you want to. Like, if you're like, man, I really like all 3 of these, you can use other ones, for emails or for social media posts, or maybe you have a newsletter that, like, you're sending out to people. So, you can use it wherever you want. It does your Amazon description right here. It fits the new A10 Amazon description, which is actually shorter. They used to be really long, and now they want them shorter. So, this will continue to fit any updates that Amazon does in the future, because I will go in and update it for you all. Okay, the next one is the keyword process. We're going to say yes. And it gives you your keywords. And then it says why keywords matter and how you can use them, in throughout, like, your entire marketing positioning and all of that kind of stuff. And then we're going to say yes to move on. So I had it stop at each section just to make sure that you can look everything over and make sure that you feel like it's going in the right direction, because I mean, it is AI and it is smart, but your book on a human level. And, so it's kind of a checks and balances system to make sure that everything is going in the direction that you need it to go. You can always stop it at any point and go, I don't know, can we try again and see if it comes up with something better for you? So categories and keywords. It gives your 2 strongest that it thinks that it will help boost your rankings faster. And then it always gives alternatives for you as well. I think right now you can only pick 3. So you can kind of mix and match. And then it does the same thing as it does with the keywords, why your categories matter and how to use them. And then we're going to go on to the next. Ingram, yes. I just want to remind everyone, this book is a memoir and it's a true crime kind of experience. So that, that's what it's giving us. Anyway, so here are the Ingram categories and keywords, and why those matter, how they feed into bookstores and libraries and all of that stuff. And then the next one, yes, for comp titles. This is actually one of my favorite things that this system that I built does, because I feel like knowing where your book sits with other books is really important. And, we have to remember that when we're writing, our audience is not everyone. Like, there is no book ever written where the audience is for everyone. Not a single book in the history of ever. There's always an audience. There's always a niche market. You can always find, ways to position your book against other books that are similar. So I think, this tells you not only the book titles, but also, like, how your book fits into it, how you can use them to position your book, and, and why it all matters. And it tries to find ones that are doing well in a 2 to 3 year period. And this is one of those places where Kathleen was talking about, like, when we were doing this before I made this system, um, our categories and keyword research would take days and days. Sometimes comp titles, so we know how to position books, could take months, because you have to dig so deep and it's hard to find stuff, like, it's individual searching each one on the internet and all of that kind of stuff. And this really streamlined that process. And then it will always give you a little marketing position strategy and how you can use that. And then the next one is social media, and yes. And then it builds you posts for all of them, LinkedIn, Twitter. Oh, it didn't do that today. Sometimes that's weird. Usually it gives you all of them, but I have another one that I did earlier that I'm going to show you as well. And then it gives you all of these hashtags that you can use over and over again. So uh, it's really beneficial in social media if you have some hashtags that you use on every post, like regardless of what the post is, because you're trying to hit the same people. So, you start building a following and making sure that your hashtags, at least some of them, not all of them, obviously, because not every post is going to fit into every hashtag, but making sure that you can have like 3 to 5 general hashtags that you can use across every post. So every time you post them, like those hashtags come up in people's feeds it's a really great way to help, get visibility, because you start to grow that over and over, and people start noticing your posts because you've posted within that hashtag before, and that's how it kind of goes. So, okay. After the social media, so this we have a form for you. It's just a Word document that you can fill out, and it has all of the stuff that it needs. It has your blurbs, your release date, your bio, your headshots. You can put your book summary in there, all of that stuff that you can then upload here. I don't actually have that for this book, so I'm not going to show that to you, but it comes with Launchmaster. So you just take it, you download it, you fill out the pieces that you need to, and you upload it, and you will get a better press release than if you do it the way I'm about to do it. So just so you know that, but you will get a better press release and media kit section with that form than if you just have it fill in the blanks for you. But I don't have it. I picked this book kind of last minute this morning, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to just tell it, yes, go on without, and it will generate anyway. But it always stops there to remind you to upload your document. So here is the press release. It gives you everything you need. It has placeholders, like, so, you need a date, but if you did the paper, it would have all of that. So press release, and then it does the same for the media kit. And then it has placeholders for like your testimonials and all of these things that are really important for your actual media kit. But, and then your social media and your website would go here. And that is it. That's the whole thing. It will ask you at the end if you want to put it into a Word document, and you can say yes, and then it shows up. I'll show you on the other one because it takes a minute for it to analyze the whole sequence, but it comes up as a link, and you just hit it and it downloads. Before we go on to the other one, I just really wanted to show you guys very quickly. I wanted to show you how the information from the media kit fits in. So this is the media kit that we did. All of this was done off Launchmaster, and it fits in to the sections that I made for it, like perfectly. So I just wanted to show you, this is one of the media kits, from the Media Launch product that we have, which is part of our bundle as well. But they're four pre-designed templates that you can just kind of drag and drop into what you need, your book cover, your output from Launchmaster. Okay. This morning I was working on an update on Launchmaster, and I ran my book through to check it. My book is a book of poetry, and so I just wanted to show you how like it molds itself to what you need. If you're nonfiction, if you're fiction, if you're poetry, if you're self-help, like, it is designed to work with your book because it reads the entire manuscript. It's not just uploading a summary. It's actually taking a deep dive into your book. So I did my book this morning because I'm working on an update, and I want to make sure that it's like, works for you. Anyway, I thought this was pretty amazing. This It did all of this stuff the same, as it did for the book that I just showed you in the full demo. Uh, and then when I got into here, so the categories and keywords was the update that I was working on. And so I thought it got lost, but it didn't get lost. It was actually giving me extra information to help me market my book of poetry better, because poetry is so hard to market. I mean, it just is. It's a hard market. Anyway, so it kind of gave me extra, like I have so many categories and keywords to pull from. It went in, but it went really deep in here, more so than normal. And I just thought it was interesting because I just wanted to show you how, depending on what your book is and how it thinks that it can help you, it gives you what you need, because that's what I told it to do. And I'm always surprised by it still. So it gave me 3 really strong categories, and then it gave me 3 extra ones. And then it asked me for browse paths, which are a different thing, and you can't actually pick those, but it was just showing me how people would find my book, like how they would search for it, and what the actual browse path looks like for my book. So I just thought it was a really nice thing, that it gave me for my book of poetry. And then I just wanted to check to make sure that I didn't break it. So none of this actually matters. This is me going through it. But then when we got into the categories, or no, to the comp titles, hold on, I gotta scroll down. Sorry.
It really came up with a lot of additional information because it's learning from all of the books that we're running through it. It's trying to figure out how to improve and help us.
Right. Well, and this, the comp title section, it went in because I had updated it. It went into this section so deep for my book. And so I want to make sure that it does this every time for you guys too, because I think that what it did for my book today is really beneficial. But you can ask it to do this as well when you get here if you want to, if it doesn't automatically do it, because ChatGPT does its own things sometimes. Anyway, so it gave me all of these books as comp titles, and then it told me where the market landscape and gaps were, and how I can position my book to fill that. And then it told me what my unique offer was for my book. So like when I am working on marketing, via social media, or if I'm running ads or ebook promotions or whatever those things are, it gave me all of these ideas, how to strategically position it. And then it also gave me the books that it had given me above, and it told me how much these books make each month, how much they're priced, how much they make, and how I can use them to help my book make that as well. And then it gave these kind of takeaways of how to optimize, like if I was going to re-release it or anything like that, or if I'm actually, it doesn't know my book is almost 4 years old. So, it was saying like, make sure that it has this, and make sure your cover, and make sure that. And I thought that was really cool. And then it gave me these graphs, which I didn't actually have time to dive into. I don't know. It's like page count, price comparison, and then the Amazon review count. Look at how much more this book has, compared to the other books. And that's that book that was making 4,000 a month. So that really matters in your ranking. Um, anyway. So like,
But
look
Dana,
at this.
can I say one thing? Excuse me for interrupting, but the thing with comp titles, and we go into it a lot and people wonder why, because you can do your Amazon ads against these books.
Right.
You
You can do them against your books and also like look at all of this information that you can get from them, right? Like, I mean, it's not only just using them to target your own audience, but it's also to see where other books are doing like that are similar to yours are really have stepped up their game and are really like, what are they doing that makes their book sell versus, what are you doing that maybe like your book isn't selling, and how can you use their strategy to help boost your sales, right? So like it's saying that if um oh, like, I mean, but it basically it's saying like if you do this and if you do that, like you can boost your sales and everything will get better. Like for you. So you can use this on backlist titles too. So if you have books that are already out and you're like, man, I don't know why my book isn't selling, you can run your book through here, do just comp titles if you want. You don't even have to do the whole thing. You can start at the beginning saying, I've uploaded my manuscript. I just want to look at comp titles to see how I can better position my book and run with it. I mean, really, you should be updating your categories and keywords and probably your description every 6 months, just to keep Amazon and Ingram fresh. So, things to think about. Anyway, I just thought this was really interesting. And then it went in and it gave me, my social media posts just like it normally does, and my press releases. And at the end, see, it gives you, like, if you tell it yes, it will compile it into a Word document that you can just download and open. And it has all these things in it. It usually doesn't have the whys in it because it's for you to use like copy and paste into, your actual marketing material. So like your whys and hows and, better positioning will always live inside this chat, which is always, they're always down here on your side. Like that's where they are. Um, okay. So I'm going to go back to my, um, okay. So I just wanted to show you guys, we've been using this on our author campaigns, and like, bestseller, bestseller, bestseller. This is their Kindle downloads, like how many Kindles have been downloaded, bestseller rankings, Kindle downloads, the amount of share reviews, like, this Cost of Malice is a series of 3, and all 3 books have so many reviews. It's bananas. Like, I mean, he's like at, you know, 1,000 and stuff like that for the other books. But this was just like, from launching, this is kind of what our campaigns have been looking like since we started using Launchmaster for our own material to test it, um, to make sure that it worked for, you guys. These are people who have used it. These are our testimonials. You can find these on our Facebook page, which you should follow. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And then this is the Book Life review that Kathleen was talking about, how they grade you on everything. And this just makes me happy. I mean, we normally get marketing copies at A anyway, but this is the marketing copy that was used from Launchmaster. And I don't know, it's always nice. Like, I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing or what, but it's always nice to get an A, on what you're doing. So yeah, I think, you know, and
we're
then,
happy with it. We're very happy.
yeah, we're very happy with it. It's just, it's still exciting to be like, oh, like, whoo, we did it. Yay us. So, you know, this is our thank you, for being with us. We're offering 20% off through the October 1st. Use code webinar 20 on our website, and whatever you buy, you get 20% off. We would love it if you started following us on our social channels. It's at ProBookLaunch on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and hopefully I'm going to have time at some point to get TikTok going for us because I think that that would be fun. Yeah, and then once you become a customer, like we have an exclusive Facebook group that is growing. It's small right now, but it's growing, and we'll pop in from time to time and give kind of industry updates. And if you have questions, we can answer them. And we'll probably be running some more private education like this, things like that. You know, that's going to grow as you guys grow with us. So thanks for joining, and we really appreciate it. Take a screenshot of this so you can remember all of this information.
Well, we're going to be sending out the recording of this, and we'll attach this presentation to it so that you have it. But if you want to jump on right now, I would do that. We also are going to be now announcing today that our press review list, so it's called Review Reach, is going to be available as of Monday. If you already have bought the product and you bought our essentials package, I will be sending links to you later today with it. We have a way of walking through it. There's a welcome kit that comes with it, so it explains what it is. And we'll have a video up there shortly that I made explaining how I use reviewer lists. It's got over 2,500 reviewers, and they break out in many ways. And I explain what all the subjects and categories mean. I personally send it to everybody except the military guys because they seem to not want anything else, and they email me. But it's a really great way, and you'll never know where you're going to get a review. I have been so surprised, like with Cost of Malice, the guy who writes for the Indiana Law Review reviewed the book. And he had gotten it because he was on my list. I'd never heard of him, but he was there. These are all professional reviewers and book bloggers. There's also a list of just book bloggers. And for those of you interested in purchasing occasionally some of the different services that you can get, I did a third piece in there that goes over Kirkus, Book Life, all of those, plus some other ones. It's about 5 pages long of some of the better review organizations. So I set that up separately for you. So there's 3 pieces to it, and that will be available for anybody on Monday. And our people who have essentials, it'll be coming to you this afternoon. But this saves time. When you really get down to it, this has saved us so much time. And the quality of the outwork of the work is great. You still can go in and tweak a little bit. I actually finally stopped doing that after a year, and the books did better than my little, like, oh my God, I've got to still do something. But I ought to get this on. I would do that. I'd go, oh, maybe we ought to change this or a little of that. And when I stopped doing it, the last 3, 4 books we did with it, they did even better than before. So it was like, okay, this is really good to know. And I had to take time to build my confidence with AI. And but when we started seeing the results, I mean, you can't fight the results.
I just want to say something too about our, this new product that we're about to release, which is for you guys who have already purchased, you're going to be grandfathered in. And for you guys who purchase at this, like through the first with this 20% coupon, we'll get it. But after that, we're going to separate our bundles, and one will have it and one will not. So, and the price will go up.
Yes.
So just to think about, in your own budgeting and journey. I mean, we're kind of offering it for free as a launch discount. It's not for free, but it is like the suite price is going to go up at like October 2nd. So because we're going to do our own marketing. Yeah. So and then we're going to break it back. It will be the essentials package and the suite package, and the essentials won't have it and the suite will. So just to think about.
But we wanted to let you know that this is really something we think will help you. It's we really want to help writers. I get manuscripts that are really good, but the people don't have any money to buy, to hire us. And it's like you can use this and do it. You have to make an investment in time, and none of this is free. But in your time, don't consider your time free. You have a value, but you can do this. And starting with your back cover, starting with all of your promo pieces, you need to get this in advance because it will walk you through. It'll give you everything. If you're going to be uploading your book to Ingram, I mean, you've got to get that out there like 6 months early to start the pre-order. The longer you have a pre-order, the better, because like right now, September 15th is usually when all of the holiday orders have been made. The bookstores, the libraries, because it takes them 6 to 8 weeks to receive these books. So they're expecting them to come in November. They've already been ordered. So you have to do things further in advance. And that's really important. And this will help you do it.
Yeah, well, and like the media kit part, I mean, that goes out to reviewers. That's something you send with your book because they want a one sheet to look at. There are all these parts. Like I feel like, Kathleen and I have discussed this in depth and we've tried to figure out the percentage. And I think it's about 80% of the material that we put together. There's obviously other stuff that we do that, if you hired us, there's no way we could include it because like it's manual labor for us to do. So this is all the material that we use. So I think it's about 80% of
Yeah.
what we actually do. And then the other 20% is, uh, stuff that there's just no way. I don't think we could offer it through ProBookLaunch anyway.
Well, a lot of it's contacting people, one-off emails to podcasters, one-off, emails for reviewers to go to radio stations, to getting a hold of the local NPR to interview people. That's all one-on-one work. But
Right.
we have what we're giving you is the materials that will get your foot in the door and they'll go, oh, well, this is professional. And they'll work with it. I mean, every time I get a hold of NPR, if it's someone in the area, like with KCLU in Thousand Oaks, they take it and they know what it is. And it goes by the look of the pieces because I give them all the information they need and make it an interesting story. And
Well,
that's what the press release will do.
right. Well, I was going to say, and things like the press release, like there's an art to writing a press release. So anybody could write a press release, or you could use ChatGPT to do it yourself. But like, I mean, we took, you know, decades between me and Kathleen of knowledge and put it into the back end of this GPT that I created. So like, there's not a lot of guesswork in there because we've made sure that its output is what we want.
Yeah, because we want the best. I mean, this is what we do for a living, and we've got to keep making, having success. Our authors return to us book after book after book, and that really, it's a good feeling because we're able to, get them some success of what they're doing and keep doing it. Like right now, I've gone back and I'm redoing all of the descriptions for several of our people because of the algorithm changes, because it's changed. Instead of having one a review at the top, that doesn't work anymore. You've got to have a hook line like what we have in Launchmaster. We've had to re-engineer all of it, and I'm going back for clients and redoing their other books that had already come out.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is part of ChatGPT, but it's its own thing. Like you can't access it without, coming through us. So it's not something like you could search for and find or anything like that. Like, it's a closed system. It protects your intellectual property. So you can make sure that ChatGPT isn't sharing with the entire AI network and it keeps your stuff inside of it. So I know that we have some fear around AI, and AI has had some theft happen, and that's usually not AI itself, it's other people who are doing that. So you can make sure that it's one of the reasons that it's not it's not anywhere else right now. I mean, we're kind of working on it becoming like maybe our own app, but until I can make sure that whatever is uploaded is protected, it's going to stay inside ChatGPT because they already have a fail-safe for that. Um, you
By
know,
the way, Robert, thank you for the very nice comment.
yeah,
I
you know, uh,
appreciate that.
I've had multiple conversations with Robert now, and I mean he's about to go speak at a big conference about AI. So he's really knowledgeable, and some of the stuff he's doing with AI, I don't even understand. He was like telling me all about it. We met the other day, and I was like, well, you're beyond me. So the fact that he has such nice things to say about it, I think is, it says something.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
The other thing I want everyone to know is that I've worked really, really hard to get what it puts out to read human. Like when you put stuff into Grammarly, there's a tab that you can hit that says, like check for AI. And I keep doing that and it comes back 0 or like 7% AI. And usually the parts that are AI are is what Grammarly has tried to correct in grammar. So I just, I've tried really, really hard to make sure that, what it puts out is like if I had written it, because I did it for years for Kathleen's clients, like I wanted to make sure that its output read like I had been writing it. So, those are kind of just a few of the things I wanted to make sure that everybody knows.
Yeah, it really works well that way.
Okay, so I think like, we probably have about 10 minutes left for if we have Q&A, if anybody has questions that they want to ask us. You know,
Yeah, let us know.
yeah, go for it. Throw it up in the
Oh,
chat.
yeah, I see, Jan. Yes, it's time to get going on it. The sooner you do it, it really, if your manuscript is complete, it's really good to see what it brings up as a summary, what it is doing. I threw in the novel I brought out in 2009, and it came up with a couple things I hadn't thought about. It was like, well, that's interesting, because you get so close to your work that your objectivity is actually a little skewed, and this brings it in a little bit different, and it gives it this humanizing element that's now been added into AI, I think is really great. So any questions? Okay, Jane's got her congratulations. Happy birthday, Diane. Yeah. We went to lunch a few years ago. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Let's see. Is there a thing
Wait,
here? Chat. What is this chat? All right.
all of our prices are on the website, and I don't know what they are with the 20% off discount.
No, it's
Oh,
you.
like how much are actual, like if you were going to hire us or for
No,
launch?
I think she means the prices you're offering for now. So there's a multiple ways. There's a basic Launchmaster. There's the Launchmaster suite. It comes with different things. So your pricing, it's 20% off of everything right now if you use that code till the first of the month. But it depends on what you're doing and what you're going to take. We give you options. You may not want to use our templates for the media kits. Okay, that's fine. You may not want to use the media lists. That's fine. So it changes the pricing.
Um,
Yes,
so
Launchmaster is a one-time
a
fee
one-time fee.
unless you want to go with the pro version, which has a lot more extras, and it has like an annual membership.
Right. I for now, Launchmaster 1.0 will continue to get updates as I work on it to make sure. But at some point, Launchmaster will become 2.0. And whoever has bought 1.0 would get a discount on the upgrade, but it will not be like forever that will update Launchmaster 1.0. That being said, in Launchmaster Pro, that will always get the updates. Like it will always get the updates. So I think it just depends on what you need. I mean, that's what we've talked about. Things are always shifting. I mean, we're not really quite sure what the future of Launchmaster 1.0 looks like at the moment. So, we might decide to update it forever. I don't know. But we'll let you know that when, we really feel like, wow, we've put a lot of work into this and it's time to upgrade it. So yeah, so I saw this. I'm not quite sure what this question is, but yes, Launchmaster is part of ChatGPT. But
It
I,
sits on top.
right, they're called custom GPTs, and that's what Launchmaster is. So it's like inside ChatGPT, and then I went in and I made a custom GPT called Launchmaster, and Launchmaster is under our business, ProBookLaunch. So ProBookLaunch is the company, Launchmaster is one of the products, and ChatGPT is owned by OpenAI, not
Yeah.
us,
Well, yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Here's like an example. You have Windows, that's an operating system. Think of that as Chat GPT. And this is like, using Word on top of it, Microsoft Word. It's its own program.
Right.
And we have it so when you sign up, we have all the welcome kits, walk you through. We have videos on everything. And what we do is we have you set it up, you mark a box so it doesn't learn from it, and then you go into Launchmaster and it's all inside its own program. And you can go back in, like if you want to have more, it gave us a few social media posts. Well, you can go back in and have you write, well, here, give me 2 more social media posts. And what I like is it goes out and finds the best hashtags for the content in that post.
I mean, I go back in and use it for all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have built entire uh book tour campaigns from, like, we did the whole sequence and then that author went on a book tour, and I've built their whole book tour, like social media campaigns and stuff like that from it. I mean, it's really kind of amazing. Like once your manuscript is in there and you've run through the whole sequence, like what you can do. And I should do a short video and put that up so people can see it. You
Yeah,
know.
we're trying to do videos for you. I like to watch people doing things. I
Yeah.
fell
I
in
mean,
love
we
with.
already have an entire video training vault that Kathleen and I did. So when you buy, there's a whole page that has videos of how to use Launchmaster and us explaining it and all of that. And same thing for the lists, and same thing for uh the Canva templates that I made for the media kits. Um,
Yeah, and we're going to be updating things all the time because as we're out in the industry marketing things, we see changes and trends. We'll be changing and going towards those things because you've got it. Marketing is ever evolving.
Right. I mean, I feel like that's part of, what's in the price is it's not just the system, it's also the fact that, I mean, for me, like I was updating it right before we started this morning, like I'm constantly, you know, hands in the industry trying to make sure that our system stays as up to date as I possibly can keep it. So you don't have to go out and research. I'm already doing that research to make sure that whatever it's giving you, uh, is the best it can be, and that it's top notch and isn't nothing's getting left behind. Are you answering, Ruth?
I'm answering Ruth.
Okay.
If I could type. All right. Well, I really appreciate everybody coming. We're here to help you. If you have questions, email us and get back to us. We'll get back to you and answer your questions. And like I said, I see a couple of the people here are already have the product, and they'll be getting the new press reach, which is really exciting because actually I've held out over a year of saying I don't want to give that up, but I realized I've got to give it up to help you because that's what you need to do. If you're doing this all out on your own, you're going to need this. And that list gets updated every 3 months because people change, go in and out of jobs.
Um, One of the things I want to say on cost, because we've really tried to think of everything, and I know that when you look at it, it looks expensive, but if you saw Kathleen's numbers of 20, what was it? It was like 2,500.
2250, yeah.
Yeah, to 5,000 a month with a 3 to 6 month contract, for to hire somebody like us, like it's a discount. But also, I made sure that we had a payment plan. So, there is like Klarna and Afterpay, and I think there's one other choice. So you can choose to, break it out into 3, 6, or a year, depending on your credit. I can't help with that because they go off credit score. But it does offer a payment option if you are like, man, I just don't have that money, but I really want this, especially while we're offering discounts and our price is
Yeah,
lower,
definitely.
so just things to think about. Also, like just to answer Ruth, I mean, if you're thinking about getting the bundle, I would say get it now rather than later because we are going to add that extra list in right now for you guys until the first at our current pricing. So, just budget wise, like if you're looking at it like that. Um,
Dana, Jan has a question here because she wants to go back in. She didn't get, there was something she hadn't gotten. She hadn't downloaded the place for press release and social media. And she wanted to know, how does she access my file through Chat GPT? You don't do it through Chat
no,
GPT.
it's not ChatGPT, although you can ask it to put together and have it, but it's in your download page. If you email me, I will send you the link to the page.
Yeah,
You can,
each of you have a page and
yeah,
what you got is right there. So
yeah. So if you email me, you can email me, and I will make sure that you have what you need.
yeah, you can go get back and get that page because it's really important because you need, but when you send something out to be at a bookstore, the first thing they do is they look at the ISBN number and they put it in and bring it up to see if they can buy it or not.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really important. Okay, any other questions? All right. Well, thank you for joining us. By the way, we do have blogs on the ProBookLaunch.com about different things about marketing. We're putting up a couple a month. You might want to go read them. We're covering different topics every time. I think we did some on ebooks and a few other things. So
Yeah, I don't know. I have some I have to still put up because time is not real. But yeah, we do have blogs that go up somewhat regularly. And I mean, I don't know, like, if all of you are from Writers and Publishers Network, but I don't know if you are. So, I mean, Kathleen and I also have 5 seasons of a podcast where we dive real deep into the business of writing books. It's called Talking Book Publishing. So you can also listen to those episodes and learn all kinds of stuff because we interview other people. It's not just me and Kathleen talking. We bring in people from throughout the industry, from, editors and marketers and writers and book
oh, book
reviewers,
reviewers, Ross, that's,
publishers,
yeah, publishers.
other people like, I mean, we've had Dave from Kindlepreneur on a bunch, guy like just we try to keep a pulse on the industry and I think our podcast is awesome. So
And I enjoy it. In fact, we have a new one that just went up on Friday. I'm going to be sending out the email today with Kim Dower, and she is a media trainer for authors so that you can help you what you need to do. And in fact, her webinar is this coming
Thursday.
Thursday, the 25th. And if you want to know something like that, go to writersandpublishersnetwork.com. It's on the left and you can register and learn about it. But Kim has one of the best media trainers. We had a client that, wanted to do it. I thought she was a good talker. We did a few things, sort of trained her a little bit. And I got her on William Ramsey Investigates. This is one of the big true crime. And she froze. And she just froze. And it was like, okay. So I sent her off to Kim. She said she didn't think she needed her. When I sent her back to Kim after she froze, she is now doing beautiful interviews. Kim is such a wonderful person to work with and help you get over some of the fear of the, deer in the headlight look when when it says, and how about tell us about this? So anyway, we've got a lot of things going on because we love what we do. We love this industry. So we're here to help you. That's with the webinars, with our blogs, with the podcast, everything. So
Right. So, I mean, you can find everything you really need about us at ProBookLaunch.com. If you ever need to email us, it's pblteam@ProBookLaunch.com. And thanks for joining us today.
yes, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.